Greetings, fellow duplicants. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included Volcanea, episode 37, Prepping the Cannons. So the goal of this stream, this being, of course, the finale, is to launch a rocket to space. That's what I want to do, so that's what I'm going to work on. So there's a few things that need to happen for that. I need to start making jet suits, which are petroleum-propelled suits that go into space. I need to make a blast shot. Oh, I don't need to. There's multiple different ways to conquer space. One is to use space scanners. So let me actually start showing you this stuff. If I even remember where it is. Where are the scanners? So you're going to want a telescope. The telescope will allow you to start scanning celestial bodies so that you can plan trips to them. Then the virtual planetarium takes science gained from going to those celestial bodies to gain access to additional research. If we take a look at the research tree down here, there's a third research, as you can see, the orange one. And it's interstellar research only to be acquired from going to new planets out there, or planetoids, or asteroids, or whatever, and then breaking it down in the virtual planetarium for science. To progress your space program. So that's the planetarium, the telescope. Now, previously, last time I played, the way to do space stuff was to use scanners. Where would the scanners be? In rocketry? No. Man, it has been so long, I don't even remember. There it is. Automation. Space scanners. So the way it used to be is you would scan for incoming meteorite strikes, and then when you detected them, you would close blast doors to protect you from the meteorite strikes. Blast doors, or bunker doors rather, are made of steel, and they are impact-proof from meteorite. The trouble with them is that they would like heat up and whatnot, and they would open and close slowly, and they required a lot of power, so on and so forth. So the new meta, or I'm not even really sure, because I've never actually used or seen them used, I'll preface. But I think the new meta is the Meteor Blaster. So what this thing does is it shoots blast shot at incoming meteorites and destroys them so they don't strike at anything. So I'm going to need to set up blast shot fabrication and then blast shots up there. I want to try the new blast shot system even though I've never touched it. So that's the goal, for better or for worse. So first order of business is to get the suit dock set up, because we're not going anywhere without a suit dock. Guess we're having pip egg omelets too. And Old Mamino, thank you for the resub. All right. So here is the jet suits. What, you can make worn jet suits? Interesting. And let's say 4 seems like a not unreasonable amount of jet suits. I could probably afford all 6. You know, might as well just go 1 for every dupe. I have plenty of petroleum. I have plenty of steel. I'm going to want a lot of steel going up into space, but we can always ramp up the manufacturing of that. So the plan is to put in a jet suit checkpoint here. I probably want to put in like mesh tiles underneath just in case of accidents and mistakes and whatnot. Wetsuits, if you know what I mean. But I'll get that done once I'm out in space. And then as part of that, we're also going to want all the suit docks as well. No, it looks like 4. 4 is all that's going to fit. Did we give up with the transit tube? Yeah, I'm not playing this beyond today. So if there's time for a transit tube, I'll do it. But it's not mission critical to get to space to have a transit tube. I think, personally, if we did a transit tube, it would require a considerable amount of power rework, and as a result of having to rework the power, it'd be a little. I would not get to space. I think if I pulled, and not to say that I'm going to be pulling, but if I pulled hey, what would you rather see? Me get to space or me set up some transit tubes? I think space would win. I could be wrong. But going on a limb to say that would be the case. So some of the other things that I'm going to need to do is to run separate lines. So previously, I really only had one power line up to upwards, and I'm going to need to run a second one because we're going to, or possibly even a third one, as we're going to require more power than I currently supply. So I'm going to get that going as well. So these suit docks require oxygen, but also petroleum. So we have a giant tank of petroleum, which is convenient. It's almost as if I planned that. So I'm going to run this petroleum up to the suits. And I think we already have, yeah, we already have a jet suit or two. Cool. Well, that's quick. Yeah, if there is time for me to do a transit tube system, I'll do it. It just really depends on how long it takes me to get blast shot, because I've never done blast shot before, so I don't know what I'm getting into. In other words, speaking of which, let's plan that. So I'm going to have to actually read about Blast Shot Maker a little bit because I've never used it. So it produces blast shot from refined metals combined with petroleum. So it has a liquid petroleum intake. It requires about 1,000 watts, which is a considerable amount of power. It produces carbon dioxide, quite a lot of it, but that could be dropped and then skimmed and produces some heat. So I need to put it somewhere where, like, I could put it here. Ideally somewhere where like close to the petroleum, probably. So maybe I'll set it up right in this spot here. Put the blast shot there. I'm actually going to lower the ceiling a little bit because I'm thinking that the Meteor blaster probably takes blast shot via conveyor belts. That would be the intake. So it would be really nice if I had a auto sweeper sweeping up the blast shot that we create, and then conveyor belting it straight into the blast shot shooter, so that there is not there's no like supply issues, or it doesn't have to be handled more than a bare necessity. Does that make sense? Hope it does. So the current priority is make blast shot in a jet suit dock. So the suit dock, well, I suppose it also means I need to do the power thing too. So let's do that, because I think that we're going to need a lot of power going up into space. So the plan I had was to just preemptively set up a whole bunch of 2K watt lines. And if I don't end up using them, like, okay, oh well. What if, you know, if I was to guess, I'm going to need them. So I'll set them up on automation wires so I can turn them off. And then start running the power up to space. So I think, given that I have like a nice wide corridor, I'm going to set it up in such a way that we just like send it up the corridor. Right. I think that's the simplest. Oh, that was made of the wrong material. Was the other bridge made of the wrong material too? Probably, right? Yeah. I'm going to want to use as much lead as I can, reserving the higher temperature metals for like, space objects. Whoop! Actually, this line should probably not do that. This line will go out to space. And then this line will do the souped up. That way they cross each other less. Well, that's a considerable change and upgrade, I would like to think. And cheers, Icarus. Thank you for the resub. So that's a lot of construction. The other thing I need to do is anytime that there's a heat capacity to run iron and steel refinement, I should probably do that. Because that is going to be necessary. Oh, I didn't realize that Dead Dodo had built himself on the other side of the wall. And probably for a while, because I didn't notice for a while. One can hope that I caught it soon. I don't know. He's alive, so that's all that matters. What are you doing down here? Race to space. So all the suits are manufactured. That's good. Get them delivered. I feel like I'm having to click the same buttons multiple times, like they're not reacting. Do I have power generation for the space projects? I could always ramp it up. So right now I have 2 hydrogen generators that are often idle because of how little power I actually need. And then if I needed another hydrogen generator, I could just build it right above it. And these hydrogen generators are tuned up, so that's 1,600 watts a piece. I mean, 1,600 watts total. And, you know, you might be right. It might be a good idea to go ahead and just build a yet another. Just in case. What is going to have to happen is I'm going to have to break the power briefly. So I just powered everything off to make the joint plate. There we go. Now everything's back on. Alright, and then this joint plate has to go bye-bye. And instead is replaced with heavy watt wire. Or ladders, or both. Is this Jeremy? No. Alright, there's granite. Okay, they're already delivering it. And I believe this should be enclosed and therefore still a power plant. Yeah, it's still a power plant. Fantastic. That was easy. So 3,600 watts is our total power generation, at least initially. It should be enough to comfortably fund our exploration and everything. Yeah, these heavy watt wires are not... They're 20 kilowatt to burn out. I produce 3.6 kilowatts, so there's zero risk of me burning them out. The conductive wire, I'm not sending more power than 2 kilowatts, so there's zero risk of me burning them out. There is a risk of them browning out because they're overtapped, but, you know, that's easy to fix. Oh, one other thing that I need is the automation wire to tell this thing to turn off when I have plenty of power, because right now it's running, which it doesn't need to be doing. Where are you going? Oh, probably for lead. Yeah, it's one of the problems of using a bunch of the lead that I have, is a lot of the lead might be in the molten biome, and therefore not close. Oh, plunger print! Nice! I'm gonna put that in the bathroom, right? I'm gonna deeply regret this. They're all gonna have accidents. So once the Sutocs are built and oxygenated and powered, with them delivered and all, we can start chipping away, getting up into space. But let's not forget about the blast shot. So this is the blast shot maker, and that thing requires a lot of power. I think it should be okay making it in lead. There's a problem in the oxygen production lines. Oh yeah, I snipped it when I got to the blast shot maker. Good call. I always forget to filter out what I want to destroy for the tool filter for deconstruction. So I got rid of the wall, but also the ventilation underneath, which was not intended. And that's unreachable, isn't it? Refined copper. Sounds good to me. Come on. This is like the one thing I really, really, really want. Let's get it delivered, folks. There we go. Now the oxygen is flowing again. Thank you for catching that. I probably wouldn't have in a timely manner. So here you can see why it's important to have the blast shot, is you get meteorite strikes regularly, and they're very destructive to anything that isn't doesn't have the proper endurance, like steel tiles, which when you're trying to put things like a rocket up there, rockets are going to get destroyed, space scanners are going to get destroyed, auto miners, anything besides like bunker doors and steel block walls will get busted up. Alright, there's something wrong with the automation here. Oh. Okay, I see. The valve is not allowing new hydrogen in, but it's just using up all the hydrogen that was in the pipes. Okay. I was like, yeah, we're cooling it down a little bit too much. I'm going to change this to negative 40°C, so it doesn't approach the petroleum's freezing temperature, which would ruin that liquid lock. So the oxygen's coming out cold, which is what we wanted. And I think everything I need to do right now is already built. So it's at this point just up to for them to construct the things that I've queued up. God, that is ugly. But hey, if it works. So the other thing I'm probably going to want to do is run a freshwater line up to space. Hey, honestly, it doesn't even need to be fresh. The fresh part doesn't really matter. But the reason for that is the first rocket that you launch is a steam rocket. So I'm going to want a way to transport water to turn to steam. And the way I usually like to do it is to set up a steel box in space, which gets meteorite struck, which will then heat up the steel, which will then heat up the water that's in the box, and the water will boil using basically the ambient temperature of the impacts, making steam from meteorite strikes. So we're using meteorite strikes to fund our first rocket. It's how I usually go about it. There's a bunch of different ways to make steam. Obviously, in Volcanea, it's really easy to make steam because of how much molten lava there is. One thing that I never ended up getting around to is making a steam generator to power our bases with steam turbines. Largely, the reason was it requires steel, and I didn't really have steel until recently. But in a volcanic biome, you know, you can obviously introduce water to near the magma, and it will produce steam, like near infinite amounts of steam for you, where you can produce power that way pretty easily. Because, you know, the other way would be to tap volcanoes, you know, like iron or whatever volcanoes that you have around. Oh, there might be another natural gas geyser here. But I never really needed it because of all the hydrogen that I have. Like, every map will be a little bit different and have its own sets of challenges. Is the meta still having mesh tiles at the top with robo-miners under? No, probably not. I don't know what the meta is because I don't watch other content creators playing Oxygen Not Included meta. But the reason I say probably not is blast miners or blast shot meteor blasters. When you blast the meteors, they don't produce tiles or debris, meaning that you don't have anything to clean up. So meteor blasters, if I'm correct about this, makes it so that you don't end up getting regolith and mafic buildup, because you just destroy it instead. Look at all that plunger paper. I love it. The insulated piping or ventilation around the electrolyzer really has made a huge difference, as you might have noticed. This used to be a big hotspot, even when we had like 7 Weezeworts here, and now we have 3 Weezeworts there, and it's not a hotspot at all, which is a pretty significant difference, I think. Oh, is that because this tank is full? Ah, yes. So this is also necessary in order to get a space program, because apparently the oil refinery is backed up due to the pressurized natural gas that's in there, so I need to use the other tanks to store natural gas just to add capacity for petroleum. Because I wouldn't want to use up all the petroleum and then not be able to make any more. And that's the direction I'm headed right now. Good news is the petroleum line has been supplied to each and every suit dock. And we are slowly getting the power cables constructed. I would say they're maybe half done or so. Still don't have the blast shot maker though. I could vent natural gas to space, sure. You know, I don't think I'm going to be using it as a power source. I can store it, and that might just be easier, but venting it to space is also pretty easy. Regardless, it looks like Badger's pretty happy about the project. What's everyone else working on? I want to make sure that dupes are being productive here. I think what is happening is they're running down to here for lead. Like, this is the lead they're using, which is unfortunate because it's really, really far away. Also, I didn't realize that this all turned to sour gas. Oh, yeah, because we have a breach. We have a magma breach down here. I didn't even know. So all of the oil has, or most of the oil has turned to petroleum, and some of the petroleum up to sour gas, which is gross. But like, ultimately, I don't really care, because I don't have to go get down there. Here, I'll fix it, sorta. Just so it doesn't get worse. This abyss light might need to be reinforced too, because I wouldn't want to lose access to the lead I have around here. But throwing a few igneous tiles here will stop this magma from really become more of a problem. Hey! Come on. Don't one person deliver and then one... Okay. Any use? There are a lot of uses for sour gas, like sour gas boilers and the like, but none of them are really relevant to what I need to do. That, and I've not myself built any of them, so I know of them. But that's about as much as I can say about that. Also decided to have a little cutout here so that I can put a box with refined metals in that spot. Because the blast shot requires petroleum and refined metals. I'm a slime murderer because of all the slicksters. I didn't murder them, though. The magma did. And I didn't encourage the magma to spill out. So, yeah, that's a naturally occurring geological process. I'm not at fault. So I disagree with you fully. Refined carbon is actually what we are lacking now. Queue some of that up too. So how are we doing in terms of the suit dock? So the blast shot, colony lacks pyrotechnic skill. I can get that pretty easily. And it is not powered on, but I know because I turned the power generator off for that. I could start manufacturing blast shot, but I'm probably going to wait until more of the other pieces of construction projects are done. The natural gas is hauled away so that we don't have a bottleneck for petroleum production, which is good. Even though the insulated tube isn't fully done. So, someone with pyrotechnics. So Dragon could do it. Or Chimic. Oh, Badger is one. Okay. Badger already had 2 points towards it. Give it to Badger. In fact, Badger, you want to wear your pyrotechnics hat? Which apparently is identical to the one you were currently wearing. Never mind. So blast shot. Blast shot maker requires copper, aluminum, iron, or cobalt. So in here we have refined lead. Over here, I guess I'll do copper. And I can start to do iron if I need to, but we're using the iron to make steel, so it makes more sense to use the copper. Colin's still looking pretty good. And I don't know how much blast shot I'm going to need, but I'll just make it forever for now. Once we get copper delivered here. We still have some cables left to build, though. I'm sort of curious where my lead is. So I do have lead in the boxes up there. So if they're running down to the molten biome for lead, like these guys are, it's actually rather pointless, maybe? I'm not going to say pointless, but they're neglecting the fact that there's closer lead. I think it makes sense to just spend a second to sweep this stuff. So that one person who has a particularly high carry capacity can, like, bring it all up in one arm load, rather than have to continually come back down here over and over and over. Yeah, it's hot lead, but, like, whatever. The things I have to worry about when there's only 3.5 hours left in the stream, temperature is kind of not one of them. You know what I mean? Because it can't screw me over in the future, because they ain't no future. It's to space or nothing. So you'll see me disregarding a lot of like oxygen not included best practices because they're just not relevant for me at the moment. All right, come on. Let's get the last of the lead cabling. There's like a chunk of lead at the base of the ladder. So I'm just going to go through and try to like haul all the lead up. I'm getting tired of the repeat strange trips down to the bottom of the map tile. Just finish hauling it all at once. Is that how much copper I have? Let's see. They had 885. Yep, okay, that's how much copper I have. Let's get the blast shot going then. So I'm going to do blast shot, made of copper, priority 9, make as much as I can, and I'm intending for it to be left here. So what I think I'm going to do is set up an auto sweeper up here to auto sweep it onto a conveyor belt and have the conveyor belt bring it up to our shooters up top. Which means once I manufacture it, I'm going to want to make sure that there are no acceptable storages for it. Because I've never made any before. Okay, it's an industrial product. I don't think that there's anywhere to sweep. In fact, there's the quick way. Have them sweep it, it says unavailable. Okay, cool. So we have 5 blast shot. And I don't need to cancel out any of these storages because there's no valid storage anywhere on the map. Okay, I think Operation Grab the Lead worked out well. It seems like all but one hunk of lead is now stored in the boxes. That will save us a lot of travel time, I think. I don't know what a reasonable amount of blast shot is, though. Like, in a typical meteor shower, it's what, like 5 or 10 strikes? Something like that? I really don't know. I have never had bothered to count. Kind of makes it hard to figure that out. But, looking like... the suits are ready. I mean, they're getting oxygenated. They don't have a lot of oxygen yet. But, they're slowly getting oxygen pumped to them, and once they're filled up a little bit more, we can start digging our way out, which should be pretty cool. So let's get a build a blast shot delivery system. I'm going to make this auto sweeper out of iron, because auto sweepers like to heat up, and I don't want my auto sweeper melting. And then I'll have a conveyor loader. This might not be reachable. No, it's not unreachable. I'll have a conveyor loader there. Ooh, care package incoming. Cheers. I almost elbowed him in the head. Oh. I'll take some free steel. Sounds good to me. I'm not exactly sure where I'm gonna want the, where I want to deliver the blast shot, but I'll bring it up here and see if I need to do, you know, wherever I need to put it. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included Volcanea, which originally streamed live on Twitch, July 27th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind that this series has since ended, so changes cannot be made at this time. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com or the description of this video have a link to Twitch and also my schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community on Discord, it has a link there too. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you on next episode or an upcoming stream of another game. Farewell, my fellow duplicants,